Hey garden fam, welcome back to The Sprout. Today we're talking about one of the most breathtaking and architectural plants you can grow, the lupine. With its towering, spire-like flower stalks and soft palmate leaves, it's a plant that adds vertical drama and a touch of wild beauty to any garden. Lupines are members of the pea family, and like their relatives, they're nitrogen fixers. This means they actually improve your soil, pulling nitrogen from the air and turning it into plant food. But here's the thing, lupines have a reputation for being a bit fussy. They can be short-lived perennials, and they have very specific needs when it comes to soil and water. But if you get these right, they will reward you with the most stunning floral display year after year. In this video, I'll teach you everything you need to know: the different types of lupines, how to plant them, how to water and feed them, how to prune and deadhead for more blooms, and how to protect them from their main enemies, aphids and slugs. Let's dive in. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We put out new plant care videos every week, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Also, drop a comment below. Do you grow lupines? What's your favorite variety? I'd love to hear about it. Now, let's get into it. First, let's talk about the different types of lupines. The most common perennial you'll find in garden centers is the Russell hybrid, derived from Lupinus polyphyllus. These are the showstoppers, with large, dense flower spikes in a huge range of colors, from classic blues and purples to pinks, reds, yellows, and even pure white. There's also Lupinus perennis, the wild perennial blue lupine native to the eastern US and a crucial host plant for the endangered Carner blue butterfly. For warmer, coastal climates, consider the shrubby tree lupine, Lupinus arboreus, and if you're in the south, the Texas bluebonnet, Lupinus texensis, is a stunning annual species. Most garden lupines are short-lived perennials, usually giving you 3 to 5 years of robust growth, but they're generous self-sowers, so you can keep the cycle going with new plants. They're hardy in USDA zones 4 through 8. Now, let's start with the most important thing, light and location. Lupines need full sun to produce their best flower display. Give them at least 6 hours of direct sunlight every day. However, if you're gardening in a hot climate, a little afternoon shade can be beneficial to protect them from scorching. In too much shade, they'll become leggy and produce very few flowers. Now let's talk about soil and drainage. This is absolutely critical. Lupines need well-draining, sandy or loamy soil. They prefer slightly acidic to neutral soil with a pH between 6.0 and 7.0. The one thing they absolutely cannot tolerate is heavy, waterlogged clay. Wet, soggy soil leads to crown and root rot, which is the most common killer of lupines. If you have heavy clay soil, plant them in raised beds or amend the soil heavily with grit and compost to improve drainage. A thick layer of mulch in spring also helps keep their roots cool and moist. Now let's talk about planting. The best time to plant lupines is in spring after the last frost. To grow from seed, you need to scarify the seed coat by nicking it with a nail file or soaking overnight to help it germinate. You can also direct sow seeds in the fall for natural cold stratification. Since lupines form a long, delicate taproot, they don't like being moved. Choose your spot carefully and plant them where you want them to stay. When planting, dig a hole just as deep as the root ball and twice as wide. Space plants about 12 to 18 inches apart to allow for good air circulation. Now let's talk about watering. Water newly planted lupines regularly to help them establish. Once established, they are somewhat drought tolerant, but they'll give you the best bloom with consistent moisture. Water deeply at the base of the plant and let the soil dry out slightly between waterings. Never let them sit in waterlogged soil. Always water at the base, not overhead, to minimize the risk of powdery mildew. Now let's talk about fertilizing. Here's a surprise. Lupines are legumes that fix their own nitrogen, so they actually thrive in poor to moderately fertile soils. You shouldn't feed them with high nitrogen fertilizer, as it can lead to excessive foliage at the expense of blooms. A top dressing of compost in spring is usually more than enough. In containers, use a balanced liquid feed monthly during the growing season. Now let's talk about pruning and deadheading. This is the secret to getting more blooms. Deadhead the spent flower spikes promptly by cutting them back to a leaf node. This not only keeps the plant tidy, but also encourages a second flush of flowers and prevents unwanted self-seeding. Once the plant has finished blooming and the foliage starts to yellow in late summer or autumn, you can cut the whole plant back to ground level. In winter, a light mulch protects the crown. Now, let's talk about common problems. Let's go through them one by one. Problem 1. Lupin aphids. This is the #1 enemy of lupines. These grayish-green insects cluster on the stems and leaves, weakening the plant. In severe cases, they can cause the plant to wilt and die. Check regularly and squash small colonies or blast them off with a strong jet of water. Encourage natural predators like ladybirds. Problem 2. Slugs and snails. Young lupin shoots are particularly vulnerable in spring. Use barriers, beer traps, or organic slug pellets. Problem 3. Root and crown rot. This is a fungal disease caused by overwatering or poor drainage. The plant wilts and the crown feels soft and mushy. Unfortunately, there's no cure. Prevention is key. Make sure your soil drains well and don't overwater. Remove and destroy infected plants. Problem 4. Powdery mildew, a white, powdery coating on the leaves. Improve air circulation around the plant by spacing them correctly. Water at the base and remove any infected leaves. Problem 5. No flowers. Too much shade, too much nitrogen, or the plant is too young. Here's where you come in. Drop a comment below. Do you grow lupines? Have you had success with them? I'd love to know. Now let's talk about propagation. The easiest way to get new lupines is from seed. Russell hybrids won't come true from seed, but the range of colors is always a pleasant surprise. You can also take basil cuttings in spring, using new shoots from the base. Division is possible, but it's tricky because of the deep taproots, and it's generally not recommended. Now, let's talk about lupines in containers. Dwarf varieties are perfect for pots. Use a deep pot with drainage holes and a loam-based compost mixed with grit. Keep it well watered, especially in summer, and feed monthly with a high potash fertilizer during the growing season. In winter, protect the pot from freezing. Now let's talk about companion planting. Lupines are perfect companions for other sun-loving perennials. Their vertical spires look wonderful against the rounded forms of plants like Shasta daisies, roses, and peonies. They also look stunning when paired with salvias, ornamental grasses, and alliums. Let me give you a few quick answers to common questions. Are lupines perennials? Yes, most garden lupines are short-lived perennials. Do they come back every year? Yes, for several years, but they often self-seed to continue the cycle. When do they bloom? From late spring to early summer. Why are my lupines not flowering? Too much shade, too much nitrogen, or the plant is too young? Are lupines toxic to pets? Yes, all parts are toxic if ingested. Keep them out of reach of curious pets and children. Let's wrap everything up. Lupines are some of the most spectacular and architectural perennials you can grow. Give them full sun, give them well-draining, neutral to slightly acidic soil, water them consistently but don't drown them, don't fertilize them with nitrogen, deadhead them for more blooms, and protect them from aphids and slugs. Here's the most important thing to remember. Lupines are worth the effort. Yes, they can be short-lived. Yes, they can be fussy, but the sheer drama of their flower spires, the range of colors, and their ability to improve your soil make them an essential part of any cottage garden. They bring a touch of the wild and the magnificent. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Are you going to try growing lupines? What color is your favorite? I'd love to know. Also, what plant should I cover next? Delphinium, foxglove, hollyhock? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care of your garden, and it will take care of you. See you in the next video.